Welcome to another wonderful edition, a very informative, educational, and we do try to crack a little icebreaker, a little joke from time to time. I have to brush up on my little icebreakers with my guests who are, usually, they tolerate me. So I say thank you to my guests, and of course, we have a guest in studio tonight on another, like I said, educational, informative edition of Standards in the Spotlight, a program brought to you by the Bureau of Standards. We are back. I am your host, Joseph Fadol, and tonight we're diving into a topic that touches almost every part of our daily lives: scales and measurement. You're doing your little walking, it's a form of measurement. Time, you measure in. You put the cake to bake, that's a form of measurement. You have to weigh how much flour for the fruit cake. Yeah, make sure if I ask you for a 1 pound, I want to get a 1 pound. You understand? Because the season is coming. And, as well, not just, for the upcoming season, but just generally, I want to go and I want to buy, a pound of tomatoes, or, 10 pounds of dasheen, or, something like that. And I want to make sure that what I ask for is actually what I'm getting. All right. And it doesn't just, it's for homeowners, shopkeepers, the fishermen, the bakers, the manufacturers, even the construction workers, the bag of cement, you have to make sure when it's mixed right. All right. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, because, scales, measurement play a very, very, very big role in making sure that, we buy correctly, and you as a producer, manufacturer, a seller, you sell fairly. All right. Now, there is a difference. We're going to break down that difference, and it has a particular term to it. We have our guest in studio, Jomarie. What's up, Jomarie? Welcome back. Of course, no stranger to Standards in the Spotlight right here on DBS. What's up, Jomarie? What's up? You good?
Yeah, good night, Joseph. I'm quite good. I just want to say thanks again for having us in your studios, and I just want to say thanks to the listening public for always tuning in to Standards in the Spotlight.
All right, and of course, Jomarie is a project coordinator at the Metrology unit, not meteorology. Metrology, it's a completely different spelling as well. Okay, people. So we're gonna break down what is metrology. We're gonna talk about scales, measurement, so that when you go, you're getting the right thing. If you see a funny looking scale, question it. All right. And tonight Jomarie is gonna help us a bit more as to things we need to know, we need to better understand, we need to look out for some things we didn't even know, we might not have known. Jomarie is gonna help us tonight, open our eyes more. All right, people. So we're gonna come back in about 60 seconds time right here. The program tonight, Standards in the Spotlight, the program of the Dominica Bureau of Standards. Alright, now that you guys are enjoying the wonderful theme song, but we're a bit crunched on time. It's a very informative, kind of compressed program, but it's a very good compressed program. Now, Jomarie, I'm going to give you a little joke, and this is actually a real joke, Mm-hmm. Real joke. The last time you were here, you were speaking of metrology, I don't think it's on what scales and measurement we were speaking of. I think it was something else we were speaking of. And you mentioned the word metrology.
Yes.
And this is truth. I didn't want to tell you that after, because I was like, okay, no, I had to do something off here. Somebody messaged me after this show and said me, but I didn't understand nothing. I thought this the weather Mr. was supposed to be talking about. I said no. It's not meteorology. It's metrology. It's a completely different spell. In fact, it is spelled metrology. And meteorology has an E and an O somewhere in it. It has another E in it.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be talking about the weather, about the rain and the sun and how cold it is. It sounds very similar.
Yeah.
But it is not. It's metrology.
Yeah.
Jomarie, what is metrology? Explain to us what is it in the most simple terms. I want to be able to speak to my 2-3-year-old little nephew and tell him, metrology is ABC. What is metrology, Jomarie?
Yeah, Joseph, funny story as well for myself. Years back, even before I started working at the Bureau of Standards, I only know of meteorology. Yeah, that's what we were taught in primary school and stuff. So, Joseph, metrology in its simplest form, as we always try to break it down and keep it simple, is just the science of measurement. So as you said, you talked about the fruitcake. I know we're in the festive season. So let's say you're following your grandma's favorite, your grandma's famous fruitcake recipe, and you want to make sure that fruitcake come out this year. So so metrology is just basically using the scale, whatever kitchen scale that you have, just to weigh out your dry ingredients, be it your flour, be it your sugar, to weigh out your fruits for your cake. As you said, you want to ensure that you're getting your pound. When you buy your pound cake, you have to make sure you get your pound cake. So metrology basically is just that, the science of measurement, and it serves a very crucial role to, as I said, the population of Dominica, because it's very important around the world, and we are not bad from that here in Dominica. So as we, in various sectors like trade, I give you money for something, I want to ensure that I'm getting my dollar's worth. Health, which we know is a very important sector. So in diagnosis, prescribing medication as well, and then also just agriculture, just to name a few, in the trading of agriculture and so forth. So that's just basically what metrology is, Joseph. The science of measurement, just performing measurements. That's it, using a medium. Use beta scale. As you said, you're doing your running, your cardio, and so forth.
Yeah.
Use your phone or your stopwatch just to clock your mind to see if there are any improvements. So that's basically what's metrology in our everyday lives.
And of course, we want to make sure that what is measured is accurate.
Yes.
You don't want to even at the gas station.
Yes.
You want to ensure that the gallon
for sure,
or the liter,
for sure,
I think Dominica is gallons.
Yes.
We get the exact gallon, so it has to be measured out properly.
Yeah.
That's it. That is 1 hour, at least a bit of importance as to why it is important to have proper equipment.
Yes, Joseph.
So that's
because as we know, like the gas industry, like it's so volatile. One day we get up, the price is X, it's down. The next day, the next 2 weeks, then we see an increase in price. So one thing we want to make for certain is that when we go to the pumps, these pumps are working well, that they are dispensing the correct and the accurate gallons, because we don't want the customers, because I myself am a customer as well.
True.
So I don't want to get shortchanged when I go to the gas station to do that transaction.
And of course, I know that the Bureau of Standards is tagging, has been not necessarily going around, but of course we first of all we encourage the gas stations to call the Bureau of Standards to make sure that the pumps are, properly regulated. And of course, we encourage consumers to look for the green sticker.
As we
green,
spoke.
yes.
Yeah,
I
as we
remember,
spoke of before. Yes, Joseph, yes,
so
on our last program.
let me tell you, I it's not paranoid, but I always make sure, okay, that pump, okay, yes, it have the green sticker, yes, very good, I can take from it, yes. So, we also want to encourage, and this is specifically for fuel, be it diesel, gas, or kerosene.
Yeah.
I'm assuming cooking gas has its own way of verification by the Bureau of Standards.
Yes, because as I like that you threw in the cooking gas, because the process for the cooking gas is a little bit different, because we know for sure that we get our cooking gas in different rated canisters, be it 20 pound and 100 pounds, and then we have the bigger bulk tanks.
Okay.
So the way that the Bureau is involved in that is that we check the scales that are used, as we're talking about scales tonight. So we check the scales that are used in that process to ensure that they're correctly weighing out, be it 20 pounds of liquid petroleum gas or 100 pounds, Joseph.
Okay, and sometimes we see even in some of the cylinders, we don't see them quote unquote full to the top, because I know some of these cylinders, they have this it's like you can see how much quote unquote how much gas is inside it up to a certain level.
Yeah, it has, some of them have gauges. Yeah.
Okay, so I would assume that would be liquid petroleum to oxygen or air ratio. I guess something like that.
Yeah,
would
what's left? Yeah, the space is in the tank. Yes.
Okay,
yes,
all right. Now you're speaking of scales to measure liquid petroleum gas, or cooking gas. Measuring of fuel, kerosene, diesel, LPG, gas, what we would call normal gas.
Yes, unleaded gas.
I go to the fish market. I see a particular type of scale.
Yes.
I pass by one of the, not one, but the supermarkets, and they have this you can wait at the at the cash out,
the checkout,
at the checkout. So Jomarie, that means that there are different types of scales and different measuring instruments that we have here in Dominica. Of course, they are around, so we obviously will have seen them. So break down for us, the main types of scales, the main types of measuring equipment that we have. Explain to us, how they work, and if there's any kind of difference between them. Give us a breakdown of those, Jomarie.
Okay, so as I said, Joseph, yes, there's different types of scales here in Dominica. So they might be differentiated by how they look, their appearance, and also the readouts. The readouts, be it digital or be it analog, and then also based, as you said, how they work entirely. So here in Dominica, we have mechanical scales, which uses, these are some, I don't want to say old-fashioned, but they use like the springs in there, and also the scales that were used in shops like way before, where we had the equal imbalances. So where you put on one side the product or whatever you want to weigh out, and then you have your weights, be it your 1 pound, your half pound, and then you put it on the other arm, and then you wait for it to balance out. So then you know that you're getting that amount of whatever product that you want to use. So then, as I said, so you have these, the equal arm, and then also like another type of mechanical would be like a hanging scale. So I don't know if you ever went to like the fish market.
Yes.
You see like the fish vendors, they use that hanging scale.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were saying something.
No, I was gonna tell you, I know I've seen them quite a bit when they hang on the weight whole fish.
Yes. Yeah. So these, so the hanging is also a mechanical one. Then we have the digital ones, Joseph. So the digital ones are a little more sophisticated, because the load cells, the digital scales, they utilize load cells, which basically the load cells, now the pressure that is applied to it, it gives a readout of the weight. So basically, let's say you use your finger on a digital scale and you press down on it, it will tell you how much pounds of force that you're applying. So that's basically it with the digital skills. So we see these, as you said, at the checkout areas. Another type of skills that we see around is like platform skills. So these are sometimes you see at the market. Farmers might also use that because of their size, the size of the platform that they could use if it's to weigh a bag of produce or something, and also they are a little more robust. Then we also have what we call weigh bridges. So I don't know if you ever went to like PH Williams, the quarries and so forth.
Yes.
That you see even at the new international airport site. There's a weigh bridge. So basically, the weigh bridges is where a vehicle, be it a tipper truck or whatever you're using to carry be it the sand, the stone, the aggregate, drives onto the platform. First, they will tear the vehicle, so the empty vehicle will go onto there. You will get the weight of that vehicle, then it will be tiered, and then whatever product will be filled in the back, be it sand, aggregate, and then you will get the weight of the product by itself, and then that's what the customer will basically pay for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you spoke about the balance, or is that still being used? I have not seen one like that. I haven't seen one like that in a while.
Yeah.
Is it still being used when you all go out?
Yes, it's still being used, especially like sometimes in the what we call the grandma and the grandpaps small shops.
Okay.
Yeah, so because that's basically what was used before, like way back, and then they've had some trust in it, so they keep on using it. And yeah, so we get these equal imbalances. Yes, Joseph.
All right. I want to ask a question. I know people will like they might be running to, let's say, an appliance store, and they will see a scale and they say, boy, I need a scale.
Yeah.
The scales in the like the appliance stores and so on there, do they have to go through a process to make sure that, hey, you know what, that scale that I buy at the appliance store, any one of them, is the same scale I can, let's say, I would have, like, let's say at a certified supermarket, or or from a machine that has been verified by you all.
Yeah.
What process do they have to go through to make sure that I'm picking up a good quality, accurate product on the shelf?
Okay, Joseph. Yeah, I really like that question. So even before we go to that appliance store to pick up that scale, there are some questions that we, as the user of the scale, have to ask ourselves.
Okay.
First thing, there's about 8 factors that we will talk about in this question. The first thing, what am I going to use the scale for? Its intended use. Is it to weigh out ingredients? Is it to weigh my fish? So once you know what you want to use the scale for, then okay, you can proceed. Also, then you will talk about the capacity. How much would you need the scale to weigh out?
Okay.
Do you need, if it's just 100 grams? If you just need to weigh out 100 grams, there is no need that you'll go and buy a 100 kilogram scale. So once you know what you want to weigh out, if it's 10 pounds, 20 pounds, then that's another factor that you have to tick off.
Okay.
Then also accuracy and precision. Do you want this scale, do you want to be able to get a weigh out of a gram, a quarter pound, and so forth? So all that is things that how precise do you need your measurements? That's another thing that you also have to think of, Joseph.
Okay.
Then also the environment. Where is that scale going to be used? Is it going to be used in a closed up room like the studio right here? Is it going to be used outdoors? Is it going to be like experiencing the different weather conditions, rain, sun, cold, drop in temperature, rise in temperature? That's another thing that you also have to think of, Joseph. Also a power source. Would you need it to be run on electricity, batteries, or just something that doesn't require and electronic source to work. Then also I talked about the platform before, Joseph.
Yes.
Because then let's say if you're a farmer and you're selling like by bags or whatever produce, be it dashing, tanya, passion fruit, oranges, then you need a big enough platform that you could rest your produce on, and that the scale would accurately weigh that bag of produce for you. Because you wouldn't be able to use a kitchen scale to weigh a bag.
Exactly.
That would be very detrimental.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that you also have to think of. And then another thing is that the build, how durable it is,
Okay.
or robust, like what you're going to be weighing on the scale. So you need something that can withstand if it's a lot of load, not so much load, and minimal load. And then also, Joseph, a word I want you to take record of me for tonight is the word legal.
Okay.
Just record the amount of times we talk about legal for the night. So another thing is legal requirements, Joseph. If you're using a scale that's directly involved in trade, that scale in a sense has to be what is termed or coined in metrology as legal for trade. That means that scale has gone through some sort of testing to say that it would the weight that you see on there can be attached to a dollar figure.
Okay.
You understand? So let's say you're using a legal for trade scale in the market. You have 1 pound of dashing. It's $5 a pound of dashing. So once you see the scale go to 1 pound, it's $5. 2 pound is $10. So the legal for trade so depending on what sector you're working in, if you require a legal for trade scale, that is another thing that you also have to consider, Joseph.
So legal for trade. So there are scales that are, like you say, legal for trade, and there are other skills as well.
Yes.
But Jomarie, I'm assuming both of them. Let's say a legal for trade skill would have gone through the same quote unquote testing as the same let's say quote maybe home skill.
Joseph.
They would have had to follow at least a basic standard for
skills, but then the legal for skill trade will just go with a little more advanced, just to get that term coined legality attached to it.
Okay.
Yes, Joseph.
All right.
Yeah.
So, no. Directly as well, you've answered a little bit of my next question. So I'm gonna phrase it like this. Because you highlighted the points there. My next question would have been, what would be some of the more common mistakes if somebody is buying a scale, and you highlighted a number of them, but are there any other mistakes that people should be aware of? Like me, I want to go and buy a scale. You highlighted the purpose, use, does it need power, what am I going to use it for? Other than those that you just mentioned, what mistakes do you see? What other mistakes should people be aware of when going to buy a scale? I'm going to Jomarie's Appliances. Jomarie has that scale and that scale. I don't want to make the mistake. What would be some of the common mistakes to avoid?
Yes. So in addition to what I listed above, one of the main things that I want to discuss as a common mistake is, Joseph, is choosing the cheapest option.
Okay.
Because I know, as we know, we're in a world of dollars and cents.
Yes.
So if, let's say, scale A is $10, scale B is $90.
I go to scale A.
You understand? Honest.
Yeah,
You're honest, and I like that. I like that.
I
like that. So as I said, so that is one of the other common mistakes that would you would choose the wrong scale. But as I said, the different requirements I listed above, the intended use, the accuracy, the capacity, based on what your answers are to that question, then the cheapest option might not be suitable for you. You understand?
Yeah.
So you need to go through these features first, These requirements first. Ask yourselves the questions. What you need, what you're gonna use the skill for, where it's gonna be, da 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 da, and then you will say, oh boy, I need something strong. I need something that's gonna last, and I maybe need something that's gonna cost a little more money.
So invest. So basically, think of what, like you said, what you want to do, and close your eyes and just make the investments.
Yeah, because Joseph, at the end of the day, this is an investment for your business. You understand?
Your legal business.
Your legal business.
Legal business.
Your legal business. Yeah, because you wouldn't want to be, even though skill A might be cheaper, but then if it's every 3 months you have to be buying a new skill. Every 4 months you have to be buying a new skill because something goes wrong with it. You understand? As I said, it may be difficult. You might not be able to do it in the instant of starting up your business, but a good investment would always be to have a good, reliable working skill that can last
long
years into your business life.
Before we go to that break, there are some skills and equipment of measurement where we cannot, we have no control over them. For example, the gas pumps, for example. I hope maybe during the program, maybe a little later down, maybe we can come back to that just before. But I'm just sticking it in that point there.
Yeah.
The work of the bureau to sort of protect the consumer, to make sure that, hey, I cannot go and buy a gas pump. Understand? I can't go and buy a gas station. I mean, like you say, it's a good investment. Because gas selling every day, but I can't go and buy a gas pump. So I want you just to hold that thought of that particular question for a little later on. The work of the bureau, how they play their part in ensuring that I can't buy a gas pump, but the bureau makes sure that, like you said, the legal for scale, legal for trade measurement equipment are there. We'll get to that in just a little bit. We're going to take just a little bit of a breather. We're going to come back in about 90 seconds. Keep it locked on this program, Standards in the Spotlight, right here on DBS. Welcome back to Standards in the Spotlight right here on your nation station DBS. Tonight the topic is understanding scales. So, an equipment to measure and choosing the right one. Mr. Jomarie Leblanc, project coordinator, Metrology units at the Dominica Bureau of Standards, is here in the big seat tonight. Jomarie, we kind of highlighted a few of them, but I'm not sure on a deeper, more detailed level.
Yes.
Some of the specific skills that you kind of started to highlight a few of them earlier on, but I want us to dive a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Specific groups.
Yes.
What would be the skills that they should, like how we as indicated, invest in, so that, let's say, every 2 months you'd have to go and buy a $10 cheap scale every time. I want us to dive a bit more into that, so that our audience, even some of the the businesses who always listen to the program, they can have a better understanding, and even for home
Mm-hmm.
people as well.
Yes, yes.
You know, um, not just for cooking, but
Mm-hmm.
um, your bathroom scale.
Yeah, yeah,
You want to see how much you
yeah,
weigh and so
yeah.
on. What you should look for. What break down for us some of the specific groups. What would be your recommendation
Mm-hmm.
for the types of scales that they should go for?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also include let's say for home use as
Mm-hmm.
well, not
Yeah,
just in the kitchen,
yeah.
Jomarie.
Okay. Yeah, Joseph. So yeah, when we look at the bathroom and the home skills, the kitchen skills, um, you want a scale that's accurate and also it's consistent. That you want it to be like, for instance, especially like the kitchen. I use the kitchen and the bathroom. The kitchen, you're following a recipe that you want to know that every time that you go to use that scale to measure out whatever product, flour, sugar, the same amount every time, that you want that scale to deliver that same reading every time, Joseph. Also, we talked about the bathroom scales. If you weigh yourself every morning and evening, you want to ensure that that scale is giving you accurate and consistent readings whenever you use that bathroom scale. Also, for the kitchen scales, Joseph, we I would advise that if you could get one that has a tier function as well, um, and that tier function is basically like for some other products that you want to measure out, that they mightn't be able to just be placed on the scale directly. So, for instance, your flour, your sugar, you may need to put it in a container first and
Okay,
then place it
okay.
on the scale. So, if you could get a tier function, a scale with a tier function, then you could put that container on the scale, tier it, it will minus out the weight of the container, and then you'll get the true value of whatever product, be it the sugar, the flour, Joseph. Easy to read display, something that's well lit, that you can see. It's not dark, the display is not scratched out and so forth, something like that. Also, something that's user friendly, that you want anybody in the home to be able to use the bathroom scale or to use the kitchen scale, that they know that to call you. Hey Joseph, come and use that scale. Come and weigh out 1 pound of sugar for me. Hey Joseph, come and weigh out 1 pound of flour for me. Joseph, how do you use the bathroom scale and so forth? You want something that everyone can use. Also, as I said before, something that's durable, something that can last, and then something that also gives you reliability over time. That these measurements